Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Audrey Lynch, with my beautiful, lovely co-host, Judy Loge. Good afternoon, Judy.
Hello, lovely Audrey. So nice to see your face, and all of our viewers that are watching. Welcome to Have a Chat once again.
Yes, we have a great show lined up for our viewers today with a couple of amazing guests, lovely ladies, with lots of exciting things for them to talk about that's happening here in Miramichi. But first, we're going to start with
Mhm.
our little quick chat portion of the show, and it's just Judy and I, and we're going to just chat along here. But we're going to start off with our quote of the day, and Judy has something special for us today. Go ahead, Judy.
Yes, it is rather lengthy, but sometimes it's good enough to put the time into. So I thought I would share this with the viewers, and I will try to
Okay.
read it slowly so that you can grab it and get the gist of it properly. So here's how it goes. How's your heart these days? It's a summer after pandemic that isn't really over yet. The summer after the stress, uncertainty, and anxiety of 2020. How's the weird of right now treating you? There's so many people racing out to claim what they've lost, to return to who they were, to get back to normal. But what is normal? Haven't we changed? Aren't we altered? Didn't that year do something to us? Are we bringing that to this summer, or are we escaping into where we used to escape to? How's your heart? How's your soul? Have you breathed out lately? Did you get an exhale? Are you filled with gratitude to be alive, or are you back to being busy and overwhelmed and strained? Are you saying yes because you want to say yes? Or are you fulfilling the time with obligations once again? Are you heeding the healing of last year? It's okay if you're not. It's okay if you're figuring it all out. But maybe it's time to bring your awareness back. And that's what I have.
That's that's a lot. That's I
It's
mean,
a
I think it's
lot.
very, very important. It is. I'd have to say I'm not all the way there yet. I'd
Mhm.
have to say, in my line of work, when things reopened and started back again, like luckily and unfortunately at the same time, I am super, super busy and
Yeah.
took off running the minute the doors opened for me. So being able to balance all of that, despite everything else, was quite overwhelming in the beginning. But now I'm
Mhm.
ready for the exhale.
Yes, the aha, let it all breathe out for sure.
Yes,
Myself,
yes.
I've had to reflect on that. Once I read that whole piece in its entirety, I had to pick out what I'm going to grab the most from that. And for me,
Hmm.
it is, am I going to go back to that same old that I got away from during the pandemic, which was chaos? Every night of the week, I'm sure the viewers that watch us know by now, I had pretty much something on every single night, except for maybe one.
Right.
And that was,
Yeah.
then I wanted to do things at my
You had
home and
somewhere to
or
be.
have people in somewhere to be, or I chose to be. I mean, let's just say it. We're as busy as we want to be, and that big word
Hmm.
no is becoming easier, but I miss it at the same time. So, what I'm going to have to do is, am I going to go back to that again, or am I going to start saying no now to things I really don't want to do and say yes to the
Hmm.
things I love to do, which I already have? I'm already committed to 3 events in May, July, May of like 2022. And then in the
Okay.
winter, this winter, yeah, like we're looking way ahead to commitments. I might even be alive then. But it's quite something to be
Oh
saying
my
yes
land.
if 2020 really, you know, but I want to pace myself more. And if anything, I've
Yeah.
learned to exhale. I take my walks in the
Yes.
morning. I swim in the afternoon. I try to make nice meals and spend time, as much
Hmm.
time as I can, with my family. So I just think that was a nice piece of writing to bring to everybody today.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. For sure. So what else is new, Judy? What else is going on?
Well, what else is new is that you might see my lip here a little bit. It's a little bit
Okay.
puffed out. sore and puffed
Oh,
out, if you can see it at all. Last night I was making a really nice, just a not really fancy, but a fresh halibut recipe. And I was doing like a brown butter on top of it. So you just kind of whip up the butter and make sure that's scorched, and then you drizzle it all over your fish at the end. And you can add parsley and paprika.
yeah.
And so, anyway, I was sipping it to make sure it had the enough of the scorchy, buttery flavor. And I put the spoon to my lip, and it really just scorched it badly.
Oh,
And so
oh
it's
my land.
puffed out now. Yeah, it's puffed right out,
Oh,
and it's very, very tender. But that's besides the point. Just be careful, folks, when you're cooking and tasting. Things can be really hot, and you can do some damage to your skin, which I did to my lip. But let's see. I had a really nice weekend with my husband. I've come to
oh,
realize
nice.
that we're all these years married. It'll be what, 34 years coming up in October. And I love him as much as I did the first time we met. And I think it's really important that we do getaways and date nights, and that
Hmm.
I just have to real stop and think how blessed I am that every day he tells me something nice. He encourages me, and he's much more, what could I say? con- he's much more conscious of the things I do and don't do than I would be of him. He said to me yesterday, it would be nice if you wore your hair up. Or he'll say, I like that earring, the choice of earrings you wore. And I'm thinking, you still notice that after all these years? To me, that's really special. Uh, some of my friends said that they're never told that they look nice, or that they're adding anything to the conversation. But he always says, I liked what you had to say to that couple tonight. You gave them good advice or something positive. And I think that's what keeps on, and that we're really on the communication level all of the time, and we're best friends. And I do suggest that you get away with your husband, or have a night in with your husband, or your girlfriend with your girlfriend, or boyfriends with your boyfriends, whatever. Make that time as a couple, because time slips away, and you have to kind of bring it back every now and then. And even if you don't go too far, we went to Moncton and we shopped around. We went to the park. We had a coffee. We sat and talked. Then we met up with another couple for dinner, and it was a chance to get dressed up for both of us. I had not been dressed up like that since the pandemic, and to put on a pair of heels, jewelry, do my makeup, and go out publicly, it was a big deal and fun. And it's putting the fun back into something that could just be prolonged. Oh, I don't feel like going out again, and it's just another Friday night. And do it, folks. Just do it. Get your dress on or your tie on and make it happen. And I encourage people, if you can't go out and a restaurant's too expensive, just get someone to look after your children, maybe family if you're on a budget that you can't afford a babysitter, and have a movie night with your husband, or a hot tub night, or a little making food in the kitchen night with music playing and dancing, whatever. But that's my suggestion, is put the love back into it, and think about why you met and love and fell in love in the first place.
Yes, I still have your children are grown and they're not so much at home, and I still have a busy house. So it can be a little trickier, but even more so, just as important to be able to plan those date nights, whether it's
Yes.
just once a month, whether it's to get out of the house without the children, or to be home alone
Yeah.
without the children for a few
Right.
hours where you can have a nice meal, or cuddle up and make some popcorn and watch a
Yeah.
movie. I keep
Right.
reminding my children, I'm like, okay, your dad and I are going to go do something. And they're like, oh, and I'm
Hmm.
like, you got to remember that you guys are here because we started this. Like,
That's
this
right.
is how it all began. And
Yeah.
I'm not, we still have to reconnect to each other and be able to,
Hmm.
you know, because when you're all gone, it's just me and your father. And so I
That's
don't want it to be,
right.
a stranger in the house, right? So it's very important. I find that I'm noticing my husband being a lot more. Um, it's not so much the compliments, because I find he always told me I looked nice, and
Hmm.
how he
Hmm.
liked my hair and things like that, especially when
Yeah.
I put the effort in, for sure. But
Right.
for me, my value was like that little hug, that little kiss, that little, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? I'm more with the physical, that just
Yep.
I, it just goes, oh, I just like there, that just took, maybe I was anxious all day, or anxiety, or I was worrying
Hmm.
about something, or something with the kids. And just that
Right.
moment to take that hug that just lasts 30 seconds longer. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, I feel better now, and I feel, and I find it helps us feel connected to each other.
Totally. Totally
right?
right. It's not like I said, the compliments are just something that makes you realize that, hey, I was 22 years old when I met my husband, and I'm 60
Mhm.
now, and I'm thinking, wow, he still notices those things about me. That shows that he
Mhm.
still has that spark of chemistry. That it's a chemistry. If it's gone away after all these years, then that's a
Yeah.
big dimension of your relationship, that physical attraction. But you're right. Like
Yeah.
he'll just reach over and hold my hand, or he'll hold
Yeah.
hands in the car or whatever, and that's like exactly, Audrey, it's those special moments of connection that keep it alive. And I think, I would say to the young teenagers out there, don't rush into serious relationships. It's great to
No.
date, it's great to go out with different guys
Yeah.
or girls, but don't settle just because you think, oh, whatever. Just enjoy life. You have the rest of your life to
No.
settle down if you're young teenagers, and it's fun to go out with other
Yeah.
people, and I encourage it, but not serious relationships. That's just my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, exactly. And my little 2 cents worth will be that it's not always fuzzy and lovey-dovey like it is in the beginning and the honeymoon phase, like they do call it.
Oh.
Later on, when everything else gets involved in kids and finances and work and
Mhm.
just the stress
Mhm.
of all of that, in the end, it's two people who are committed to each other who choose to love each other, to spite
Yeah.
everything that they're going through that stress
Right.
them out during the day. That at the end of the day, they still choose each other, right?
I know. You're gonna make me cry now. I'm getting a little bit emotional. It's special. People throw things away
No.
too easily today. People throw things away really easily. First fight, first
Yeah.
big issue, first whatever. They just put it to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the wolves. But
Yeah.
it's something you have to
And
work
and
at
that's
and keep
not
at.
Yeah, it's true, and it's not that there aren't going to be hard times and they're not gonna be
No,
hurtful times, but,
right.
it is possible to, work through it if you have
Hmm.
2 willing people who are willing to work
Right.
at it, for sure. That's
Correct.
how you get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just change gears a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the weather and some natural disasters that are making actually quite the headlines in the past weeks or so. It's a little hard to tear yourself away from the TV, especially when you see these things happening in our own country in Canada. We've got quite
Mm.
the if I'm not mistaken, I want to say over 200 fires on the go out in
Yeah.
BC, possibly.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
I've seen the videos coming in and of people driving there. It literally looks like a scary movie
Yeah. It
because these
does.
fires are getting so close and so scary. We've had tornadoes in Barrie, Ontario. I witnessed some of
Mm.
those videos. That was quite
Gee,
shocking to see a
unbelievable.
woman frantically on her phone
Hmm.
and she's talking to her husband and she looks up and the roof is not there of a
Yeah, I
two-story home,
know.
and another fellow
Yeah.
opens his door and there's the tornado coming down his street. Like it's just it's scary. It really is scary. I don't know what to
But you
make of it
stop
all.
well, you just stop and say at that moment how blessed we are. I just say, we're not
Mm,
in a forest fire area right now with this big, like you said, inferno. When you look at the news, it's
mhm,
it's incredible and disturbing to see not only those people, their homes gone, their lives, some of them gone,
mhm,
their animals, the wildlife out there, the birds and the crops being, the food that's being burned down. And it's really, really upsetting to me that it's BC, and that Lytton, is it Lytton, was basically wiped completely
mhm.
out. And my heart goes out
Yes,
to the responders. My goodness, we have to really appreciate what they're
exactly.
doing and how their
Mhm,
lives are at risk also when they're getting up against these extreme situations. And then you look at the flooding in Europe, and I mean, so far
mm,
there have been 188 people's lives taken in the floods over there. And you look at the streets in Germany and you think, what? Like, this is all crazy. And then they say
it
there's no
really
such thing as climate change and global
global.
warming.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but yeah, there
yeah.
is. This is very
I have
indicative
to.
of troubled times, for sure.
Yes,
It's bothersome
definitely.
to me.
So
Yeah.
our thoughts are prayer with everyone in those communities, in those areas,
Hmm.
with family and friends, and that everyone stays safe. And definitely listen and heed the weather warnings that are put out there to
Hmm.
your best of your ability. I know sometimes when it came to the tornado, I mean, you heard the siren and then you saw the tornado, so that was a little hard to gather yourself and get yourself prepared for that. but we just want to, again, thoughts and prayers to all the families and everyone who's dealing with those troubled times right at the moment. I want to
Mhm.
give a big shout out, Judy. Actually, I have some exciting news.
Oh.
My youngest sister, Claudette, just became a grandmother this morning for the very first time.
Ah,
So I
nice.
just want to give a shout out to my sister, Nanny Claudette, and her daughter
Wow.
Jessica and
Yes.
Eric, who gave birth to a big bouncing baby boy this morning,
Oh,
7:48, I want to say a.m., 8 pounds 6 ounces. His name is Atlas
beautiful.
Ray Claire. So we can't wait to meet
Wow.
him. My sister, I'm sure, is just beaming from ear to ear, and she couldn't wait
Yes.
to tell us. So I just want to say congratulations to the new parents.
And congratulations from me as well. It's a big moment for your sister, and I'm overjoyed to hear that it's a healthy, beautiful baby boy. Great news.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So you have a recipe that you want to share with me. You talked a little bit about being in the kitchen there and having a little mishap, but do tell with this
Mm.
new recipe of yours.
Okay. If we have time, I think we're pretty
Yep.
good. I'll skip through it
Yep.
really quick. It's called a BLT appetizer. Really simple, and I like it.
Okay.
So you need 1 box of Ritz crackers, two
Hmm.
packs of bacon, 1 bag of romaine lettuce, 3 tablespoons of ranch dressing or dressing of your choice, one 12-ounce jar of sun-dried tomatoes, and 1 small can of tomato paste. So you start by cooking the bacon in the oven. And you lay the strips of bacon over a slightly crinkled aluminum foil, and
Hmm.
you bake that for 15 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Flip the bacon halfway through and cook longer if you prefer the bacon to be crispier. Now, when you're finished, break the bacon strips into 3 to 4 pieces to top the crackers. So the next
Okay.
you take your romaine lettuce and you dress it, like cut it up smaller, and you dress it by
Hmm.
adding your dressing to it, the ranch dressing, and you mix it all up in a bowl. And then you add small spoonfuls of the sun-dried tomato paste to the Ritz crackers. Okay, so you mix all that up,
Okay.
and you
Yeah.
top with the pieces of the dressed salad, the lettuce, and then top with the
Hmm.
crispy bacon. And it's just a nice little simple, tasty BLT cracker Ritz. If you want like a sandwich type thing, you can take the base
Right.
and put another Ritz cracker on top of it to make it
Put
a
a
little bit
like
more.
a little sandwich.
Yeah, but tasty and
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
You
BLTs
could
would have to be my favorite go-to for sure.
Okay, you can use
I
tomatoes if you don't want to do the tomato paste and sun-dried tomato mix, you can
Mhm.
just use little bits of tomato, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'll share one quick little thing before we get started with our great guests and great show that we have lined up. I made jam for the very first time with fresh
Oh.
strawberries. I was actually on the hunt for a recipe that didn't have a ton of sugar, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, quite a few of them, when you add that
Yeah.
Certo or that gelatin or whatever, they want 4 cups
Uh,
of sugar to just 1.5 cups of strawberries. But I did
ooh.
manage to find something that was out there that was the exact reverse. And I was able
Mhm.
to have 4 cups of strawberries with just a cup of sugar, and it turned out amazing. I've eaten one whole jar already, but it's deadly. I'm definitely going to give the other jars away, but I don't want to yammer on about that. I want our viewers to go take a quick little break, grab a snack, cup of coffee, some ice water, and don't go far. Scoot right back because we've got a great show lined up for you. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. Joining us is our first guest, Julie Munn, who is the president of the Rock and Roll Festival. Good afternoon, Julie.
Afternoon, ladies. How are you guys?
Oh, we're happy to have you. It's exciting to talk about what you're going to talk about today. Welcome.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Yes, so first up, Julie, before we get started with why you're here and filling us in on lots of great and exciting information, first, can you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are?
Well, like you said, I'm Julie Munn, president of the Miramichi Rock and Roll Festival. I'm going into my 15th year of being
Woo.
involved with the Miramichi Rock and Roll Festival. So started young and born and raised here in the Miramichi, and have a little girl that I'm raising now on the Miramichi, Madison. She's 5.
Mhm.
She goes to school at Max Aiken, and she's part of the rock and roll with me. So it's trending
Nice.
down through the generations.
Well, lovely. Well, you've certainly been part of the scene for a long time. That's a really great
I have.
commitment that you've just spoken of. Julie, tell us all about the festival for this year, this summer, coming up really soon, and the dates, of course, and any changes that you might want to relay to our viewers.
Yeah, definitely. So with COVID, just like everything else, we did make some changes. We usually go the first week of July on that weekend. It usually follows along Canada Day. But with
Mhm.
COVID and the journey to green, the path to green, we made the change to move it to August just so that everybody was a little bit more safe and we kind of had
Mhm.
a more handle on things. So we
Yeah.
moved the festival this year to August 6th, 7th, and 8th. And instead of a 4-day
Okay.
festival, we took it down to a 3-day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect. Well, it's coming fast because we're already mid-July, and
I
I
know.
know you're hard at the preparations, and Audrey probably wants to ask you a little bit about that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you had mentioned, Julie, the effects of COVID itself, and that being the bigger issue with getting prepared. Can you tell us a little bit of what went in for preparation and how you decided and able to work around it specifically?
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of preparation. We have 5 people on our committee. We're a very small committee to pull off such a huge event.
Hmm.
So a lot of late nights, early mornings, lots of phone calls, and the biggest thing was just kind of waiting and seeing how COVID played out. And last year we had to do things a little bit different. We were able to do like a drive-in thing last year. You girls were part of it, so that was amazing.
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
year, we didn't know if we would have to do that again or if we could kind of go back to in person. But luckily, we got through COVID and we're still getting through COVID, and we were able to plan an in person event leading up to the August date with COVID
Hmm.
protocols in place. So we're still going to have the protocols. We still had to do an operational plan and plan the
Hmm.
events around COVID instead of being non-restricted. So we still have that stuff in place until we are fully green.
Okay. Well, I hear, all kinds of people talking about this, like having been, a pandemic and such a very low time for some people that don't get out socially, and with the lack of culture that's not been able to take place. So there's a lot of hype about this festival. And let's just say that we're all looking forward to it, even though Audrey and Veronique and I can't be part of it this year. We'll be, involved. But tell the viewers what kind of, funds lined up, and any new changes or any new events this year.
So Friday, August 6th, we're actually going to kick off the festival, kind of similar to what we did in previous years, because we did want to keep it as rock and roll as possible. So,
Hmm.
and a lot of people missed that last year, not being able
Yeah.
to get out there and see the old cars and get into that. So Friday, we're going to
Yeah.
kick off with our annual cruise around the river. So everybody's welcome to bring their old cars out, and we're going to start that at 6 p.m. at the Goodie Shop parking lot. We did
Okay.
that last year, and it was our biggest year yet. Believe it or not, with COVID, it was
Hmm.
our we
Yeah.
had over like 200 cars, I think. So this year we're going to do the same, and from the feedback that we're getting, it's probably going to top last year. So we're going to kick that off. We do the cruise right around the river. We go in through the nursing homes and let them have a little show as well.
Nice.
And then we
Ah.
end up back to the Goodie Shop parking lot. And we're going to keep it the same as we have for the last 26 years. We're going to do our opening ceremonies and have our street dance. And then we're going to end the night with
Oh,
our firework display.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's so
Oh,
exciting.
I know. You're very,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about one of the bigger showcases part of the weekend that everybody's whispering and talking about, and we weren't able to have them last year due to COVID. Um, I hear that Honeymoon Suite is definitely going to be a go. Tell
The
us how
flights
that's
are
all
Yay.
going
booked.
down.
The flights are booked. They're so excited to get here. They were so excited last year to come and play on the Miramichi. Um, I was selling tickets for the Honeymoon Suite show the other day at the goodie shop, and I had this gentleman come in, and he saw them at the old Domino. So that's like going back, way
Oh,
back.
Oh, yes.
wow.
So he said, now I was like 18 at the time. And then now
Uh,
he's coming in at 48 years old, coming in to see them again at a live concert. So yeah, they're coming Saturday night. The gates are going to open at 8 p.m. It's over at the Federal Wharf. So that's another big change for us this year is we don't have the
mhm.
Okay.
tent. We always had the great big white tent for the
Mhm.
weekend, but just due to COVID, we wanted to make it as safe as possible. So we decided to do
Yeah.
an open air concert. So that's going to
Okay.
happen over at the
Okay.
wharf on Saturday night. Gates are going to open at 8. We want people to feel free to bring their own chair. We want to make it
Mhm.
as relaxed as possible. And then after Honeymoon Suite Show, Big Bad Party Band is going to close out the show. So it's the after party with the Big Bad Party Band. But yeah, it's all open air. It's going to be over at the Federal Wharf. It's going to be amazing. That's a huge space over there. So and tickets right
Mhm.
now are 92% sold out.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow. There's not
really,
many
really.
tickets left.
No, not very many at all. So, as soon as we made the announcement that we were a go for this year, the online tickets just started flying, and in-person tickets are flying off the shelves. So, it's going to be a huge night.
It's going to be a wonderful night. Come rain or shine, we don't care. Honeymoon Suite is going to bring the best to Miramichiers, and Miramichiers know how to party. That's one thing we know how to do, right, Julie?
Have a good
Exactly.
time.
This is their first gig since like post pandemic. They haven't
Oh,
played.
oh,
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
going to be a huge party. It's going to be huge.
everybody's going to be
It
pumped
is.
for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so that's that part. And then what about the family, scene? The children that want to get involved and things you want to do with your kids. Is there such an evening towards that?
Well, Sunday is kind of the family day. We're going to have some stuff going on throughout the day on Sunday. The biggest thing is going to be the show and shine.
Hmm.
It used to be the Golden Oldie Car Show, still kind of similar, but
Yeah.
we've called it the show and shine this year. So we have lots of people starting to call, and we have hotels are booked up. On each side of the river for the festival. So that's great to see to bring business for them again. But yeah,
Hmm.
so the day on Sunday is for the show and shine. It'll go from like 1 to 4 ish, and we'll have some music and lots of great activities.
That's so nice. Everyone can get
It
involved in that
is.
day. Beautiful.
Yeah,
And not have
yeah,
to
Yeah.
it's
pay for
very
a babysitter, right? Like you don't have to say, what am I
exact.
going to do with my children? Because you bring them and they're going to have as much fun, and they'll be talking about that as one of the highlights for their summer, probably.
Exactly. Babysitters will be for
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about now, you just told us about quite a few events going on. Tell us
Mhm.
about how to register for the Friday night drive around the river. Where are we getting tickets? Is it on your Facebook page? Like, fill us all in how we can be part of all of everything.
Yeah, sure. So the cruise around the river, you don't need to pre-register. You just need to show up, um, start lining up whenever you want. Usually around like 4:30 is 4:30, 5 o'clock. People will start lining up because we do leave at 6 p.m. because we do have the police leading the cruise. So we leave sharply
Hmm.
at 6 p.m. So you just got to come, and we'll have security, and we'll have people parking vehicles and getting people lined up. So no pre-registration for that. We will have a table on Friday night at the cruise if you want to register your car for Sunday. We're not doing
Okay.
pre-registration before that this year, so that's a little bit different from previous years. But
Hmm.
we will have a table set up Friday night at the cruise to do registration. For Honeymoon Suite, you can purchase the tickets at the Goodie Shop restaurant, N&J
Hmm.
Convenience, or Millbank Music, Urban Keyboard. or
Oh,
online at www.miramichirockandrollfestival.com.
good. Great. Wow. Yeah, but so well
Perfect.
organized. And that's, not from lack of hard work for sure. It takes a
Yeah,
lot to pull something like this off. And, Julie, you've been right at the helm of it all. And so kudos to you and your team. I'm really
thank you.
sad because I don't think there's any musical production this year. Is there? I don't imagine with the COVID having been on that there was able to have anything like that organized. But I remember not long, what was it, 3 years ago now? It must be that I did Mamma Mia as part of
Yes,
it. And I absolutely was drained by the end of the 5 night production at Jameson Hill, but it was absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure that that will be something you'll look at again in the future, won't you?
definitely. That's a huge part of the weekend. Even though it's not on location, we have the cast come over and do a couple of little skits and production pieces during the weekend. So that's always fun, and it's definitely going to be missed.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
next year, hopefully, we'll get back to more normal, and that will definitely be part of the show as well
Good.
again. Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
piece.
It's so much fun. And again, the family can get involved, and that will be looked at next year. And so it's something to look forward to. We should all have something in life to look forward to. And it's these social events that get us all picked up and out of the state we've been in during the pandemic, which has been kind of nothing really happening. So you're bringing it to us.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what that's kind of the theme of this year is um Miramichi Rock and Roll Festival, Freedom Festival. And our
Oh,
slogan was breaking loose. We wanted everybody just to come back and
ah,
see each other. And there's a ton of people
yes.
coming from outside of Miramichi, St. John,
Hmm.
Halifax,
Hmm.
PEI, Fredericton. So we just want people to
Perfect.
come together and be together again and celebrate all of the accomplishments that we did get through the
Mm,
pandemic.
yes. Big pat in the back.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that's exactly what I was going to say, Judy, because you said, Julie, you're a very small board, a very small group of people trying to put such a big, big, big event. We definitely want to give you a huge pat on the back for that, and
Mm,
commend all your countless hours and efforts into pulling off something like this with very few people to give you a hand with, but you've managed to do so, and so many people are looking forward to it and are excited. I think they're excited in general to be able to get out and have something to attend. So we want to
yeah.
thank you guys so much for, sticking with it, and changing the date was probably a pretty tricky, and being able to secure honeymoon suite, being able to get them to say
Mm.
yes, we will come back. That must have been, you know, hard work for sure.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of phone calls, but it's all worth it. We were able to pull it off, and honeymoon suites coming, and we were able to, because there were so many tickets that were bought last year that where we had to postpone it to this year. There were so many
Yeah.
tickets bought already, so we're just happy that people kind of went along with us and stuck with us and held out their plans until this year, and now we're back, and it's going to be bigger and better.
Are
And
you
and
able
as you
to,
said,
Judy? Oh,
oh, sorry. No, that's
no, I
okay.
just wanted to
I
ask
was
about how many people, like, because the venue of where Honeymoon Suite's going to be is changing. Are you able to sell more tickets since it's going to be outdoor at the Station Wharf, I believe you said?
Yeah, we're gonna have about 1,200 tickets out there.
Oh, okay.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was just going to ask you if you have had favorite events over the year. In all of those years you've been participating and organizing, what's the number one excitement component for you, Julie?
There's two. It's
Oh,
the street dance on Thursday night, because that's the opening, and there's so many smiles and hugs and stuff that are out
yeah.
there. You look out into the crowd, and you just see happy people, and they're just happy to be out
Hmm.
and around other people. And then Sunday, because it's a family event, and we're all about family
Right.
with the festival, and that's why we do it, because we want to see families to be able to come out and enjoy free events. Whether you can afford
Hmm.
to come out and take in the whole weekend or you can't. We only have
Yep.
one event, and this has been the same thing for the last 26 years. Our sorry, adult dances are the only things that we charge for during the festival. There's nothing else that we
Oh,
charge
Okay.
for. And it's because of
amazing.
that, because we want to make it a family event. Um,
Hmm.
so it's just all about family, and that's my favorite thing about it. I was raised up. My dad has been a volunteer for 25 years with the festival. He got me involved.
Oh,
I'm at my 15th year, and now I'm having my daughter grow up with it. So it's all about family for us.
cool. That's so cool. Yes,
Yeah.
generations. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
With our last minute left, Julie, what about, is there anything out there that you want anyone else to know or share in the last moments of this interview?
Biggest thing is buy tickets, get out. You're not going to want to miss the event for sure. But the biggest thing I want to talk about really quick is our sponsors, because we weren't going to
Hmm.
ask anybody to help sponsor this year. We were just going to do it on our own. But they came to us, and they've been faithful with us for 20 plus years, and we couldn't do it
Yeah.
without them. So on the back of our rack cards, we have all of our sponsors listed, and this list is unbelievable. It's all local businesses, and we couldn't do it without them. So all these people on here have donated to the festival, and we just want to give them a huge, huge thank you for being with us during a pandemic and post-pandemic. And we look forward to many more years with them.
Okay, great.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us, Julie.
Thank you so much
And
for
thank,
having me.
yeah. So, to our viewers, don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. And welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my wonderful, lovely co host, Judy Loge. And joining us now is our second guest, Melanie Gilliss-Buckley. Hello, Melanie.
Hi, how are you today?
We're glad to see your
Fine.
face. Thank you for being here for Have a Chat.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So, Melanie, you're here on behalf of the Napan Agricultural Show or Fair. But first, before we get and dive right into chatting all about that, we're going to get a little blurb from you of who you are and give our viewers a little lowdown.
Well, thank you. My name is Melanie Gilliss-Buckley. I'm a wife and mom of three teenagers. Um, I'm a correctional officer, is my profession. And I've been involved with the Napan Agricultural Show for 25 years.
25 years. You're not
Wow.
really 20. Oh my gosh, I feel kind of old now, but that's really, really a great dedicated member they have in you, Melanie, for sure. A long, long time. Tell us how this show, when it got started, and basically about its operation.
Well, our history goes back to in the mid 70s when a group of community members wanted to raise some money for baseball uniforms. And so they had a horse hall and a country supper to raise money for
Hmm.
the uniform. And after that, it started annually. They started adding a dance, and year after year, it grew a little bit. Then we grew to a 2 day event. And 30 years ago, evolved to the 4 day Napan Agricultural Show.
That's really, I've heard lots about it too. Every year for all those years, it's been a very highly anticipated event. So thanks to all that hard work that you've been putting into it, along with everybody else that has.
Yes, yeah, we have a great board of directors, and it's a huge effort, community effort, but not just people from Napan. A lot of people from outside of
Hmm.
Napan who come aboard
Hmm.
and help us out with our projects.
Right, right.
That sounds amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about how, of course, COVID has affected the show? Last year, I don't believe it was a go, but now this year you're going ahead.
Yeah, last year we had to cancel because
Hmm.
of COVID, and but we didn't shut down. We kind of had some COVID friendly events later in the summer when we were able to. We had
Okay.
a gigantic yard sale underneath our new roof, and we had a
Mm.
market, and we had some washer toss tournaments. So all COVID friendly events, and so we're back this year. And although a lot of fairs are not able to go forward, because ours was in August, we said we really wanted to do something. So this year we're kind of having a watered down event, but nonetheless we're having our fair weekend. So we're going to have a 3-day, uh, 3 one-day events. On Friday, August the 13th, we're going to have a horse hall. Saturday, we're going to have a draft horse show, and Sunday, August the 15th, we're going to have a white horse show. So none of our events are going to be indoors. So kind of limited what we're going to do, but we're still going to be outside under our roof for rain or shine. We're going to go forward, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Okay, so on that note, just to expand, you have areas for children to play. You have, again, do you want to expand on some of the others, like you talked about a food market type, or preserves, or quilts, or what else do you have to tell us about?
Well, this year because you can't have things inside. We really limited in what we could
Nothing?
have. No, we're not going to go
Oh,
nothing. We're
okay.
pinching out a few. We're going to have scarecrow contests and hay bale decorating, so things we can put outside. And for horticulture, we're going to have some hanging baskets and vegetable displays, and there's some classes for the kids to get
Nice.
involved. And yeah, so we're trying to keep things going, but with the restrictions, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do indoors, so we couldn't plan for what we didn't know. Right?
But you got creative and you're going to be doing something. You just named quite a few exciting new changes. So that's going to be great in addition to what you already have for the main events.
Yes,
Good
and
job.
children love. Yeah, so we're gonna have horses, horses, horses. So children are still get to see lots of horses. And on Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday of go, we're gonna have for 4 hours each day. McKenna Entertainment's gonna be there providing free face painting or glitter tattoos for the kids. So
Mm,
there's gonna be something else for
fun.
the kids.
That's nice. That makes it very special when you see the children out having a ball.
Yeah, and we hope we're gonna have
Yeah.
Yeah.
some food trucks each day because everyone loves their fair
Oh,
food. So it's a good
yes.
excuse to get some fair food. So.
Yes.
Can you
Excellent.
can you tell us yeah, can you tell us, Melanie, about the new show ring that the Napan Agricultural Center has?
Yeah. So we fundraised for 6 years for this big new building, and 2020 was supposed to be our year. It's I got to refer to the
Mm,
dimensions, but it's 140 feet by 220 feet, and then there's an office
Mm,
with along with that too. But so it's a huge building, and it's all covered. So our show ring's covered in, and the bleachers are covered by the roof. So rain or shine, we can go ahead. Because I'm not sure if anyone remembers the uh, musical ride back in 2014 or 15, whenever it
yes.
had. It rained like
Yeah.
as hard as it could rain,
Yeah. I
and
know.
but so we're not going to
oh,
have that problem going forward. But last year, 2020, we were supposed to have the RCMP musical ride again,
Mm,
and we were supposed to have the Trick Riders from Alberta, and they had to cancel. And again this year,
mm.
but we're looking for 2022 to have the RCMP musical ride come back to us in Napan.
That will be
that'll
so
be
awesome.
exciting.
I mean, that it's incredible to watch. Actually, I was at the one that they did the last time and I was mesmerized. It's mind blowing how organized and how beautiful the whole thing is carried out. So that's something to look forward to as well.
It
Um,
is.
Melanie, so where do you get all your participants from that come to take part in all of this agricultural show? What parts of the province are out of province?
So they come from all over New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and sometimes some of the horse haulers from Ontario. But we're very open for the province. We're called an open show, so participants can come from where outside the province if needed, but a lot from in New Brunswick, from both ends of the province.
Yes, that's good. And bring the
Mhm.
business to Miramichi, the hotels and the gas stations and restaurants that after the fair is done, they go and, to their hotel. They'll eat some more at the hotel and spend money there. So it's really a great boost to our economy as well, what Napan's doing here.
Yes, and we hope to have future events and bigger events that is going to help draw more business into the communities, just to help our sponsors.
Good.
Because with sponsors,
Hmm.
uh, you know, they give us such boost to have a show every year, and we're really appreciative to them, to the volunteers, and to the spectators and the exhibitors. Are a huge part that we wouldn't do it without them.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So where can some of the people who would like to come and attend these events, where do they find, do they just come and show up for it, or where can they find the information to the times and which events are, do you have a Facebook page, or are you able to buy your tickets online for that, or fill us all in
For
how we can partake?
Sure. The exhibitors can go to our website, Napan Agricultural Show, and they can find the prize books for the listings for the classes. And the light horse and draft horse have to pre-register. So they're going to pre-register.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Information, or you can go to our Facebook page and then it'll direct you to our website. So they're going to register before July the 31st. For our horse hall, they're going to come and weigh in on Friday night before the hall at the feed mill in Chatham, and or Miramichi East, I guess. And then they're
Yeah.
gonna come directly to the grounds. So yeah, so for information about for exhibitors, it's on our website and our Facebook page. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us or any of our directors.
Okay.
And the
Melanie, our
spectators?
last guest. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
No,
can
I
the
was
didn't
going
hear.
to say our
spectators
last.
just do that? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead, Judy.
I was just going to say that our last guest, Julie Munn, was kind of saying that, it's all kind of a family thing that was part of the picture for her. Her father was involved in the Rock and Roll Festival. Now she's been for 15 years. Then her daughter's going to be getting involved, already is, but going to be taking it forward. So did that happen with you and your family, your father, and then to you? And what about your children becoming involved in this as well, Melanie?
Yes, it's a family thing. My mom and dad are involved, and my dad was one of the original founders of the fair. And yes, my kids are involved, and hopefully they'll be
Mm-hmm.
participating in the future too. And also, don't forget my brother and sister. They're Jeffrey and Julie. They're involved too.
Give them a little credit, right?
I got them credit. They're older than me. But we do have a board of directors of 22 people though, and they're fantastic, like I said. And yeah, everyone's there to lend a hand and attend the meetings and come back with the answers and help solve the problems. And we're really digging at how to make things happen this year with COVID, and everyone's really come together, and we appreciate all their help.
22 is a large number for a board. I've been on many boards and we've had maybe, 10, 12, 13 people on the board, and we thought that was a room full, but 22 is considerable. And that is a lot of great heads coming together to strategize for sure. Great job.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you tell us, when you're preparing for an event like this and having to change it up and not really be able to make as many decisions until later on, I'm guessing it would take almost like a full year of preparing for something like this. When do you get
Yeah.
started?
Well, we get started at our be a couple weeks after our fair. Usually, we start planning for the next
Okay.
year. Annual meeting in October, in the fall, and then we take a couple of months off in the winter. And in March, we're all hands on deck, and we're starting to get prepared for August show. So that's why, with so many uncertainties this past spring, we weren't able to plan a full show, but we planned something that we knew we were hoping would fall within the boundaries we had at that time, and hoping
Mhm.
to loosen up even more.
Right. This is your big chance once again to showcase Napan. And I don't know if people realize the gem that it is within the Miramichi area, because I know Leon Bremner, if he's watching this show, big shout out to Leon, is a chartered member of the Rotary Club I belong to, the Chatham Rotary Club. And he just says, Napan is the capital. He always says, he loves to talk about Napan, and it's true. It's beautiful. The people there are, you know what I mean? They're involved in so many aspects of the surrounding area. But tell us a little bit about Napan for those who just really don't know what it has to offer, the farmland and the beautiful, brooks, and a little bit about Napan itself.
Oh, I think you said it all. Like, it's beautiful in Napan, and it's very rural community. We're most, we know our neighbors, and there'll be the odd one squeeze in or move in, but it takes us a little while, but we'll get to know everybody, and we try to get everyone involved. We still have our community school, and which keeps us together as a community. And but not just, I mean, it's beautiful in Napan, and it's hard to get land in Napan. It's hard to buy a house in Napan because everyone wants to be here. But our board is, it made up a lot of people from outside of Napan too. I think I've already said that, but so we're very welcoming to everyone that wants to help out. But I'm glad you mentioned the Chatham Rotary, Judy, because this summer the Chatham Rotary partnered with us and is donating $80,000 to help us work towards getting our bleachers for inside under our new roof. So that's fantastic, and we're so appreciative of that.
I know, and I was so pleased when the membership made that approval and the vote was all in favor, because let's just face it, it can't be just about Miramichi East and Miramichi West. It has to cover other areas, and Napan was huge for us to see that the support went to those bleachers, and much, much appreciated. I know the people will find that what an asset they will be to the whole agricultural show. I'm excited and proud to be one of those members from the Rotary Club. So thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to share as far as information, and let our viewers know about the fair this year that will get them all informed and involved?
Sure. I think it's important that people know our daily admission. We've reduced it. It's only $5 a day, and children 10 and under are free. So we just want to see people. We want to get them through our gates, and we want them to enjoy the atmosphere that we're going to provide this summer. Because of COVID again, we didn't have an official cutting for our new roof. So on August the 2nd, we're inviting anyone that had part of fundraising over the past half dozen years, whether they bought a ticket from us or they helped us out at a bake sale or attended a dance, whatever it may be. We're wishing that them or inviting them to come to us to Napan under the roof on August the 2nd at 6 p.m. And we're going to have a short ceremony to commemorate our new building and say thank you to everybody.
Okay. And of course, bring your masks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bring your mask. Will there be some there provided in case someone forgot theirs, or?
Yep. We have all this COVID protocol and all their supplies.
So
That
Julie, I
sounds
guess
lovely.
our show, we're almost to break, but I just want to say before Audrey closes to end the show that I've known you for a long time, and I hope you stay committed to this project, because I know you have a lot on your plate with your job, your family life, and all of that. And you've managed to pull this off year after year with your crew of 22 and that support of the community. But I just want to say a personal thank you to you for all you do and bringing this to our area. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Judy. And thank you for the invite to come here today.
You're welcome.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for joining us today. And thanks to our viewers for watching. Again, we'll be back next week with another great show. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.